Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Crazy Pie, and in this video we are going to be talking about how to properly land at the supply ship in Apex Legends. This is my third part in the how to properly land series within Apex Legends, so if you guys want to see more, please feel free down below to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel so that you never miss another Apex Legends video. As always, Instagram is linked in the description below. I upload memes, clips, as well as just random posts there, so go ahead and give it a follow down in the description below. But without further ado, let's talk about how to properly land at the supply ship in Apex Legends. So the first thing I have to mention is the actual spawn of the supply ship, and the supply ship will basically always spawn at the bottom of the map, right beside or over top, or just on the actual side of water treatment facility within Apex Legends. Now the supply ship does fly slower than the actual drop ship, which is a very crucial thing to know, which I'll get into in the next point that I want to talk about after this. And near the beginning of Apex, the actual supply ship used to fly actually faster than the drop ship, but now that they upgraded the actual speed of the drop ship, you do fly faster, which is very important to know. The best way to actually land on the supply ship, however, is very different than if you were to land at an actual drop spot in the actual map. So if you're flying towards the supply ship, obviously you're going to want to try to drop before. You're not going to want to go behind. If you're flying in the same direction as the supply ship, however, instead of dropping before like most of the actual enemies do, you're going to want to try and drop over top or in front of the supply ship. Mostly over top or a couple feet behind, but instead of dropping way behind like you would at most drop spots in Apex Legends and having to do like the swooping down animation when you're flying, basically all you're going to want to do is drop closer to the ship and drop straight down. That's if you're flying in the same direction, because the worst thing that you can do in Apex when you're trying to drop on the supply ship is to follow the ship. If you're trying to chase the ship when you're dropping, it's not a fun time, trust me. If you're flying parallel to the ship, so this is either on either side of the ship, not the same direction, not facing it, but if you're either flying over the path of it parallel, so this could either be from Skulltown towards Repulsor or wetlands towards Cascades, those directions, what you're going to want to do is drop before the ship, but not too much before, but you're going to want to try and drop way before it so that you can fly easily on it. But what I mean by before it is in the direction of the ship, so you're not going to want to obviously drop way before on the side of it. You're going to want to try and drop before it in front of the ship, if you guys know what I mean. So don't chase the ship, but also try and drop at a reasonable time so that you can just drop straight down and easily land on top of it. I'll hopefully have some clips of what I'm talking about over top of my video so that you guys can get a way better explanation. Now this is a very important one. Loot spots as well as best spots to defend and get kills. So the next few points I'm going to be going over that. The best actual loot spots on the supply ship are either at the very back of the bottom floor, basically near the exit. This spot I'll also talk about a lot more in the next point, or on the bottom of the ship as well, at the front of the ship right near the control center, right beside the stairs and the ladder. This is also an extremely good spot for very good loot to drop. As well, the third spot for very good loot to drop is on the very top of the ship, almost directly above the second best spot. It's right beside the bottom of the cannon, and it's directly beside the crate on the very top of the front of the ship. This is an extremely good spot to loot. Most of the time I will actually end up dropping here and then taking the ladder down through the little entrance, or taking the ladder down on the very side to get down to the bottom of the ship so that I can loot the other two spots if people haven't already. These are the best spots to drop if you're trying to go to the supply ship. I see a lot of people going on the sides or in the back. 100% if you can, and if you have a very good drop spot, go for the very top of the ship, right in the front of it, because that's where you're going to find some pretty insane loot. Then after that, jump over the hand railing, go through the little entrance inside the ship, and then jump down the ladder to the control room right in the very front, where you will also find the second best loot spot, and then try and make your way down to the back. This works perfectly if you're playing with Mirage and you're trying to jump on the supply ship, because you can set out your decoys to try and make the enemies think that you're going to be landing at the back of the ship or anywhere else on the ship, which if they see like 3 Mirages landing in the front of the ship, they should hopefully get a little scared, and it might make them not want to drop there. So if you want to practice dropping the supply ship properly without enemies having to disturb you, try going Mirage, just because then if you use your decoys, they might get a little bit scared and they might leave you alone because they obviously won't know it's a decoy. Now, in terms of the actual best spots to, stay alive and get the most kills, there's quite a bit of them. There's 2 spots that I want to talk about. or 3 spots that I want to talk about in particular in terms of how to heal and how to bait enemies and trick them. And then there's a couple spots that I really want to talk about for you to actually get on top of, get in and get under in order to get kills and easily get the advantage in the gunfight. So one of the best spots to get kills on the actual supply ship, you're going to find a lot of Pathfinders here because they have their grapple hooks, but one of the easiest, best spots to get kills on is on the top of the cannon on top of the ship, as well as the little staircase right by the back of the ship on the bottom floor. Once again, I'll try and have video footage for you guys on an empty supply ship on what I'm talking about, but the cannon on top of it is super good because obviously you have the long rod of the barrel of the cannon, and then you have the back of it, which has a very nice width for you to stand on and easily head glitch to get a ton of kills if you use it crouching properly. In order to actually get onto the cannon, if you're not a Pathfinder, if you guys remember what I meant by the very best drop spot where I want you guys to land every time, right beside that crate at the front of the cannon, you're going to want to jump on top of that crate, and then you can easily climb just on top of the barrel of the cannon right in front of the ship. That's basically how you're going to get on top of there. It's the easiest way. I mean, obviously if there are enemies there and you drop to the back of the ship, you might not want to go there. You might want to try and go to the next spot that I'm going to talk about, which is actually on the bottom floor of the supply ship, right beside in between the 2 stairs at the back. This spot has a super overpowered head glitch that you can just stand in right in between the 2 stairs. If enemies drop down the ladder, or if they drop down the 2 ladders on the sides and come through the doors in the middle, you have such a perfect head glitch to easily kill the enemies. This works so perfectly if you have Gibraltar's gun shield, as it'll basically allow you to not get hit at all. Trust me, it's so overpowered. And right behind that little, head glitch spot is an extremely overpowered spot to bait enemies. If you want to bait enemies really good on the supply ship, there's actually 4 metal duct pipes right beside the back door. So if you go out the back door on the bottom floor of the supply ship, if you look to your left and right, you'll see one of the ducts are actually lower for you to jump on, and then right beside that smaller duct, there's a larger duct that you can also get inside of, or on top of, sorry, that no one seems to know about. No one really ever goes here. Most of the time if I find myself in a gunfight and I run on top of these ducts, it literally just looks like you jumped off the supply ship and no one will check there. This is one of the best spots to heal, and if you're playing as Gibraltar, this is an extremely crucial spot for you to actually regenerate your gun shield back and get back into that head glitch so you can win more of your gunfights. It is so overpowered using these spots to heal, and I love it so much. The top of the supply ship is a very great spot to heal, but as well as the 4 thrusters on the side of the supply ship. You can basically get on the very back of these thrusters right around and use it as perfect cover to peek around if you want to be in a gunfight. You will have the low ground, but you also will have the cover, which does suffice, but it's a very good spot to heal if you want to get out of the gunfight. Just be careful when you're standing on these thrusters in the middle of the actual supply ship when it's flying, because if you land on them, you can actually end up falling off of it, because obviously if the ship is moving, it's going to try and throw you off of it, which is kind of annoying. So just be careful when you're trying to jump on top of there. But those spots on the side of the supply ship, the thrusters, are extremely good to go around and to heal. As well as another point I wanted to talk about, if you're on the bottom of the supply ship, instead of taking either of the 3 ladders to get up, you can use those 4 thrusters to climb on top of to get onto the back of the supply ship. So say you see someone trying to, guard the ladder if there's a massive gunfight going around on the back of the supply ship, what you can actually do is either use the thrusters to jump on top of, or you can use Pathfinder's zipline to jump out the back and zipline all the way up to the cannon, or just zipline all the way up to the top of the ship. Once again, I might try and have a video clip just for you guys to watch it for in motion. But yeah, so say you see a lot of enemies on top of the ship and you want to try and get up there without being seen, the thrusters on the side are extremely useful to use if you want to get on top of the supply ship. Trust me, use them to your advantage. You might have to hold down the jump button just so you can mantle and climb up there, but once you get that down, it is so overpowered, boys, trust me. Now in terms of the actual best legends that I would recommend you guys using when you're dropping the supply ship, it honestly varies. So some of the legends that I would say aren't really that useful would obviously have to be Bangalore, Bloodhound, maybe Octane just a little bit here. I know it sucks to say that because I love Octane, but he's not the best on the supply ship. Lifeline might not be that good if you're playing as a solo player. She's kind of like a little bit of a hybrid. So, if you like Lifeline, use her. If you don't really like Lifeline, she's not really going to come too handy in the supply ship, so don't even worry about that. Wraith is decent. I'd say she's pretty much in the same category as Lifeline here. She's not the greatest. If you are a solo player on the supply ship, she's 100% going to be better than Octane, because for starters, you can't really run that far on the supply ship. It's a very, very small drop spot, so Octane is not going to come in that handy. But if you are camping in the head glitch or on the thrusters, using Wraith could actually help you get around. So Wraith is pretty good. Pathfinder is extremely useful for the supply ship. He is very good. Caustic is one of the best. If you drop at the very top of the ship, you can place a canister there. If you go down the ladder, you can place a canister there. Caustic is just really good, because if you have the ladders there and the enemy drops down the ladder, once you hit him with the smoke, they can't really get back up. So Caustic is extremely good. Mirage is extremely good to bait enemies. Gibraltar is actually very good as well because of his gun shield as well as his dome shield. If you're trying to climb up the ladders, if you place your dome shield down, you can easily get up there. Bangalore isn't really that good, but all in all, the main legends that you're going to want to use is Pathfinder, Caustic, and Gibraltar. These ones are extremely useful on the supply ship. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, please feel free down below to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel. Most of this video was just me trying around and trying to land on the supply ship for about a week now and just seeing what works well. Around a month ago, I also watched another video on it was like a 28 minute long documentary about everything you need to know about the supply ship. So I tried to make this video as personal as I possibly could. I used most of my own advice here, but if you guys want to watch a very, very good in-depth video on the supply ship as well, I'll have that link down in the description to Lord Spink's video. Pretty good YouTuber. I really do enjoy his videos. I tried producing my own content with this video, so don't worry, I didn't really copy him at all here, but it's just me trying to complete my series of how to properly drop at Apex Legends. But yeah, if you guys want to see an absolutely incredible video on how to properly drop on the supply ship, or just everything you need to know about the stats and stuff and just everything, go ahead and check out that video because it's a very great video. But yeah, if he comes at me or something, I didn't copy you, don't worry bro. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free down below to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel with bell notifications turned on so you never miss another Apex Legends video. But yeah, without further ado guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another daily video. These daily videos are absolutely killing me, but it is so much fun. So thank you guys so much for that. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, boys.